creating miracles means you're powerful beyond measure. So I think that there's a piece for me that's saying, I want to really encourage people to feel into the power of this and to the power that you have, that each one of us has. So
Yeah.
that's me at a 2 and you at 2.5.
Okay, well, that'll be an interesting one. I actually think you just kicked this whole topic off because, um, I think with don't forget to get your pen and paper, peeps.
Oh, yes, yes, I forgot to say that.
Oh,
We
no, I
want your
don't know.
note-taking
I just
devices at
monopolized
the
you.
ready.
Yeah, grab them and type them, write whatever works for you. I think I think you actually kicked it off without even knowing because you said you were powerful beyond your measure.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a stellar conversation today. Welcome, dear listeners, to another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversation. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi, can't wait for today.
I know it's going to be epic. I just know it's going to be epic. Dear listeners, welcome, welcome. We like to kick off our conversations before we get into our topic of how to create miracles. Oh my goodness. How to create miracles. That just makes me sing and skip like a little girl inside.
I know, you're not the only one.
But before we get stuck into our conversation, we like to do our little check-in. And if you've listened to our conversations before, you know that we do this. And if you haven't, welcome. We do this check-in. It's like we like to cough it. I reference it as the PEMS check-in. My clients and students know this, that PEMS stands for physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. This is a real quick assessment tool. We really actually encourage you to use it in your everyday schedule just to check in. How is my body feeling? How am I feeling emotionally? What's going on in my mind? How is my connection to all that is, to the collective or to source or to my higher self? And so we're checking in on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is I'm great, I'm doing really awesome in the present moment, feeling grounded and calm. And 10 is
Even just you
everything else.
describing that. Hang on, even just you describing that makes me go, oh, yes,
Exactly.
please. Okay, I'll let you carry on. I'll let you carry on. Yeah.
All of that. And then 10 is discombobulated, stuck. Oh my God, don't know what to do. Don't know what the direction is. Don't know what's up or down. And the truth is we move up and down those numbers all the time. And there's never a right or wrong. There's never a, oh, I have to be like you. It's just a check in to see what's going on. So all that being said, we all check in now, and Deb and I will both give our numbers. And we encourage you listeners to make a wee note of what your number is. And then at the halfway point, just check back in again. See if it's shifted. Did you get triggered? Did you get brought closer to that 0, which of course is the intent of our conversations.
Yeah, that's the intent.
Yes, the intention. And then at the end, we all check in again also. So all that being said, where would you put yourself, my dear?
um, I'm going to say a 2.5. And the reason I say a 2.5, because, you know, I'm just going to give a reason, is
Mhm.
I've had this niggly throat thing
Mhm.
and it stopped for a while. And literally just before I got on a call with you, it started and I was like, oh, come on, come on. I've got that.
Something to be spoken.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
totally. But I'm going to say 2.5, but you know what? I'm going to say a 0 just for the title.
Just for the
Just
title.
for the
Absolutely.
title, because the title just makes me want to go, please. Yes,
Mhm.
please. I'll have
Mhm.
some of that, sir. Yeah. Was it sir? What is it? Yeah, more please, sir. Yeah.
More, please, sir, definitely.
Definitely a 0 on the title. So 2.5. What about you?
I'm at 2, so I thought that was kind of
Oh,
interesting you said 2.5 because we're not that far off of one another. Like you, this How to Create Miracles just gives me, it makes my heart sing. And I feel very much at a 0. I don't have anything going on with my throat, but I have a bit of a runny nose and I may have to mute myself and blow my nose. And I'm feeling a wee bit chilly. So there's that, just, that changes how you feel physically, right? And so also I think there's a part of me wants to make sure that we really do this episode proud, that we really inspire people to feel into their own power, because creating miracles means you're powerful beyond measure. So I think that there's a piece for me that's saying I want to really encourage people to feel into the power of this and to the power that you have, that each one of us has. So
yeah.
that's me at a 2 and you at 2.5.
Okay, well, that'll be an interesting one. I actually think you just kicked this whole topic off because, you know, I think with don't forget to get your pen and paper, peeps.
Oh, yes, yes, I forgot to say that.
Oh,
We
no,
want
I
your
don't know.
note-taking
I just
devices at
monopolized
the
you.
ready.
Grab them and type them, right? Whatever works for you. I think you actually kicked it off without even knowing, because you said you were powerful beyond your measure.
Yes.
And I think that's I mean, it wasn't the one I was going to kick off with, but when you said that, it's own all of you.
Yes, I like that.
Because we are powerful beyond our measure, and we have things like our PEMs. We've had a day of a 10 and we've had another day as a 9, and then that night we're an 8, and so also knowing that even when you're a 10, 9, 8, 7, 11, 20, 100,
And all of
wherever
them.
you are, yeah, and all that jazz, you're still actually powerful beyond your measure.
Mhm.
So own all of you, not just the light, the dark, the good, the bad, the left, the right, like own all of you. And I think that was actually the tip you just gave without even knowing you gave it, because even saying that, when you own that, there's a simple way to create your miracles, because when you actually own all of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that, and I completely agree with it. That this is the thing too, is in owning all of you, you actually start to realize that this piece that I said, we are all creator beings.
Mm.
And I don't know about you, but that feels like quite the gift, because if we get into that vibe of owning that we are creator beings, and let's say things are being created around us in our space or in our work life or our personal life that we don't like, once we recognize, oh, I can create this. If I'm creating this and I don't like it, then I can change and create something else that
Mm.
I do like, or where my sense of yes is, or that which lights me up, as opposed to takes me down some rabbit trail somewhere.
Well, nothing's set in concrete.
Yes, this one applies so many times, eh? You bring this up.
Does.
Yeah,
And,
I like
and
this. Yeah.
And even when I say nothing's set in concrete, and even if it isn't concrete, there's a big sledgehammer that you can knock that down. But nothing's permanent,
Right.
And maybe I'm referencing the PEMS. I am referencing the PEMS again, because it can move. You can
Yep.
have You can have
You
a
can-
glass of water with the hiccups, and then you're going to move from a 1 to a 3 to go, why have I got the hiccups? What did I do? I've got to get on camera, or, like, so you can have all these things, or you've had a bad sleep or a poor sleep or whatever, so nothing is really in concrete. And if it is, everything's movable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I first looked at this title, How to Create Miracles, I thought of the Albert Einstein quote. Are you familiar with that quote?
Who knows?
He
Moira knows all quotes, names, everything. Yeah.
Oh, if only I did. That would be a miracle if I did. But no, there's one of his famous, or I love Albert Einstein isms. But he basically said there's two ways to live life. One is to think of everything being a miracle, or that nothing's a miracle. What would you choose?
Oh, I've got my little goosies on that one.
I know. Actually, here, because I think it's so important, I'm actually going to read it out properly.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
So that Albert Einstein's quote is, there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. I don't know about you.
That's
but
giving me goosies again. I actually want to Google, what is a miracle?
Yeah, what is a miracle?
What is the full meaning of a miracle? An extraordinary event taken as a sign of the supernatural power of God, or an extremely outstanding / unusual event, thing, or accomplishment. Oh, wow. Okay. So I agree with the first part of that, but I guess that's that supernatural power of God, an extraordinary event. See, it doesn't have to be extraordinary.
It doesn't, and that's from that Einstein quote. It doesn't have to be extraordinary.
No, and so this is the Google version. Oh, hang on.
Right.
Oh,
Of what Einstein's quote was.
what is the Bible definition of a miracle? Goodness gracious. An event of the external world. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, God.
So,
Okay.
dear listeners, anyone who doesn't like using that God word, think source or the collective, or right?
Yeah, I love the way John
Universe,
Dewey
the universe.
calls it. Yeah, he calls it the grand organized design, which is God, God. And I love that. And that to me is just the universe, the whole, everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because a miracle to me is so what was so a miracle to me is, it's like you're given right, but it's not a miracle, it just is. So I guess, yeah, Albert Einstein.
So the thing about that is that the Albert Einstein ism, and for me, I love that part. So like you're saying, it doesn't have to be extraordinary, but it happens in the present moment. That actually reminds me, and I may have shared this on previous conversations that we've had on our podcast, is one of my favorite mantras, and I will repeat this over and over and over and over again if I'm feeling discombobulated, or maybe I'm at a 40 on that scale of 0 to 10.
And we've been there before.
Which has happened. The mantra or the affirmation is actually more of an affirmation. And basically what it is I believe that anything is possible and miracles are happening now. Now, feel into that. I believe anything is possible. And the caveat is that you would need to, because I do know that there are some people that don't believe that, but I do believe that anything is possible.
I don't think they'll be listening to our podcast.
That's true. But just in case.
If you've got friends like that, yeah.
So there's that part. And then the thing about miracles are happening now. Even if there's complete chaos and discombobulation happening in your world at that moment, there are always miracles happening. There's a bird singing, there's a baby being born, there's somebody being reunited with a loved one, there's somebody just being given the all clear from a previous dire diagnosis. There's always, and these are things that light your heart up, that give you joy, that give you that sense of
Warmth inside.
yeah.
Well, it's funny you talk about that, because I guess what is a miracle? It's our given right.
Yeah.
You know, when you're so yesterday I saw a butterfly, and this beautiful butterfly. I'm like, wow, that's weird. I don't have butterflies here, and I looked at it, and it landed on this tree, on my lemon tree, my small little thing, and I went, oh, I want to get a photo of that. So I quickly got my phone, and I came back, and instead of just sitting, because I went, I want to share this with people. Like, I really have a desire to go, look at this beauty. And well, do you think this butterfly would perform for me? And I was like, so I spoke to it, and I said, come on, can you please just open your wings, land on a beautiful area of this lemon tree plant, so that I can actually take a photo, and then I can share your joy with others. And that's what I said to it. I can share your joy with others. And then this blooming butterfly just opens its wings.
Beautiful.
And just moved and sat on this thing, and I went, quick, get the photo, and I got the photo, and I thought,
good for you.
that could be a miracle as well.
Truly.
But I mean, I was just like, I've got to talk to this. If I told anyone, talking to a butterfly, they would have gone, okay, Deborah. But it felt right. And I was like, please. And it was only when I said, so I can share your joy with others, it obviously listened to me. But that could be seen as a miracle, but it could also just see as, our birthright, that it's going to happen, or not a given. So that word miracle doesn't have to be something extraordinary, like I'm going to the extreme, I've got a medical condition, I'm going to go in 24 hours, and then I've lasted another 3 months or a year or whatever. Like, that's another version of miracle. But a miracle can be as big or small as that butterfly opening up its wings for me.
Yeah. Or like I said, just hearing a bird singing, or having,
beauty around.
Yeah. Or drawing a card that aligned with something that you said. I was actually had a conversation earlier today where I was talking about I create batches of content and then schedule it. And so I have that one thing happening, and then when the time comes, I then go in the present time. So basically what happened was, today I was putting together a newsletter to my list, but the article that tied to it, I actually prepared 2 months ago. So when I go and open it on my website, it's exactly the same topic as what I talked about in a video today.
Love that. So what does that say?
But don't you think that's miraculous type of synchronicity? That actually happens to me a lot.
I've got my goosies. I think a tip here is recognize them.
Yes. Recognize them and acknowledge them.
Recognize them and acknowledge them. Yeah, don't just go, oh yeah, there it is. Like, oh, there it is. And I'm also going to add, share them. Open up a conversation with people about what you saw or felt, or but also discern who those people are, because people are, you're going to have those ones who are going to go, oh, whatever, bloody butterfly, who cares? I kill them, all the wings off, be like, oh,
So I would like to put a wee caveat into that, because I think that the meaty part of this tip is to recognize, acknowledge it, and breathe it in, like really, really enjoy
just
it.
swallow it.
Yeah. Without feeling like, okay, quick, recognize, acknowledge, now I have to share it and broadcast it and put it on my Facebook feed. And
oh yeah,
because you see, you've probably been exposed to this idea that we're all connected, that when you want to see joy and appreciation and calmness and peace all around you, it has to start within you first,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why I'm saying this miracle, to recognize it and acknowledge it and really feel into the juicy warmth, the expansion first. And then that actually allows the felt sense to be shared from a real grounded in that joy of the witnessing of it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and it's like take it and put it in your heart would be how I'd say it. You know, take that gift that they're giving you, the beautiful butterfly. I'm going to say the butterfly in front of me.
Yeah.
Which is so small, but it was so significant for me. You know, I was like, oh wow, I don't see butterfly like it. You know, butterfly landing on a blooming plant, whatever. Yeah, we get butterflies all the time, but for me, it was very different. You know, and even in Dunedin, they actually have a butterfly museum where you can go in,
Yeah.
and you can go to it. It's like a hot house. We call it a hot house, like a glass house type thing.
Yeah.
All the butterflies can come and land on you.
Yeah, they have
And
them here too. I went to one this past summer.
it's
Here.
beautiful.
It's so nice.
Oh,
I love
I'm
it.
not into butterflies or any. I'm not into birds or. I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. Women things drop stuff in our garden, and next thing we've got a new plant sprouting up. And we're like, come on. But from those things, it is. But I think, and it will, and depending on your PEMS, you will handle that miracle differently.
Yeah,
or that
absolutely.
If you've had a bad sleep, you're like, oh, blooming birds. All they do is chirp, chirp, chirp. You know, as other people see things. And I think, yeah, but as long as you can recognize it, acknowledge it, and then, you know, like you're saying, swallow it, but put it into your heart, feel it.
Breathe it into your heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I mean about when you really do that, then the sharing is actually through your own energy, right?
Yeah, it's a different share. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's such an important thing too, because I think that why that's so important, because you've probably had this experience too, Deb, where you share something that just totally lit you up or totally amazed you, and you share it with somebody and they go, so?
You're like, oh, that happened. Whoop-dee. Like that happens to me all the time. You're like, what?
Yeah, that's not a big deal. That's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But I think that's how come it's so important to really feel into the gratitude of it. See, there's another tip right there. Gratitude. Hey, it came in already.
that was early. Usually they're near the end. Gratitude and celebrate. Yeah.
Because then you see, because sometimes if you hadn't fully steeped yourself in that gooey goodness of gratitude, that somebody being like, oh, really? Just that might derail the celebration of but I saw it was a miracle. So whereas if you'd have really gone into it and given yourself that gift, it'd be just kind of like, well, that was their impression, so it's all right.
Yes, when you and that's going back to owning your beauty in it.
Yeah.
You don't need clarification from outside sources to say, oh, I saw that too. And you don't need other people's influence or input, you know, but you're sharing it from a heart place, clearly, not from a head place.
Yeah. So, because it's funny, like, I was having a conversation a while ago about seeing numbers, you know, because this could be tied into this idea of how to create miracles too. In particular, whenever I see the numbers 111 or 444, those two in particular, and I don't know why, to me 111 is new beginnings, and it's kind of like, yes, this is cool. This is like the universe saying, keep going, Moira, you're doing good, all is well, we've got your back, you know. And 444 is also, that's the angels. Your angels are around and you can call on them, and so I get super excited when I see that. Well, I was talking to somebody a wee while ago, and they were telling me how terrible 444 was. How it's like a a sign of losing something. And I thought, okay, that's an interesting perspective. Never heard of that one before, but I'm going to go with my angels one. I'm good.
Well, I'm laughing internally, grinning my head off because, well, for a couple of things. 111 in New Zealand is actually the emergency call. We call.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we call 111 if we got a fire, police, or
So
ambulance.
it's saying help.
Yeah. Help.
Help.
But I'm smiling because I have an 1111 mantra that comes up on my phone every day.
Right. Yes.
Then I also, last year I met a woman and she said, why are you not telling yourself, why are you not saying this to yourself? It was an affirmation. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I've got my 1111 one and I quite like my 11. She goes, well, find another time and put this other one in. And I was like, oh, that seems too easy. Deborah, I'm like, I'm two in my head. She was a spiritual lady. Anyway, so my wording was, I make abundance in the purple and have a purple heart at the front and back. And you know what time it is? I made it up, 444.
444. Perfect.
And I've never even bothered to look at what 444 means. I've just gone,
hilarious.
Oh, 444, that's cute. I'll put that in there. I make abundance in the purple. And that's my 444 time. So when you're telling me that, I'm just grinning my head off going, of course, Deborah, of course.
How to create miracles.
And that's exactly, and I was just going to say, that's a miracle on its own, but without the meaning that it just felt right for me, but without knowing bigger meaning.
Love that.
Like so that goes back to reminding yourself that there's miracles everywhere when you see them, when you're ready to open your eyes and see it. I didn't know that about the 444, and I've never even bothered to Google it. I'm like, oh, 444 looks cute for me. That's a good one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think
talking about fours, this is something for our listeners to feel into. I know that we're now kind of fully into our new year of 2024.
Yeah, 2024.
which is an 8 year. It's a universal 8 year, which is all about manifestation, abundance, prosperity, courage, stepping up, and it's double 4.
Okay.
So I think it's so important, this idea of the recognizing the miracles, acknowledging them, recognizing that everything is a gift, even the ones that don't feel like it in the moment. There is always a gift to be found, but sometimes we just have to hold on and trust that, I can't see the gift right now, but I will recognize it. Right when the dust settles on this discombobulation or this chaos, right?
Yeah. So don't push it. Don't that wet noodle.
Yes. Don't want to be pushing a wet noodle up a hill.
Yeah. Push.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
I think I'm a believer of, but I also know it's not just necessary. I'm a believer of, there's a above the line and a below the line thing, and it's called I think it's boat, or I don't know, there's something that, and above the line means living true to yourself, universal laws, just being courageous, but without stripping people of their dignity, those sort of things above the line. If you can keep above the line in life, do things law-abiding-ish. I just want to say ish, because some of the laws I think are a crock of, people are like, what, you break laws, Deborah? I'm like, yeah, not at all.
But this is about acting in integrity. Yeah. Right.
Jinx. Yeah, jinx. Yeah, and so I think to create those miracles, if you can think those, is this the wisest decision? that's going to give everyone the best result? Is it, you know, and we've got those 3 questions. Is it good for me? Is it good for others? Do I want to do it? You know, making those decisions keeps you above the line. And I think you're going to have more miracles come in, and you're going to see it because you're going to be more in alignment with your heart or your soul or whatever you want to call it. Now, I know that there's a-holes out there and they're just doing the best they can. That's the nicest way of putting it. And they still have miracles around, but their miracles are different. Maybe the other tip is don't compare yourself to other people's journeys. Actually, I'm going to add
100%.
that. Otherwise, we haven't put that one in already. But yeah, I do think if you, living your life with integrity above the line, you know, then.
I like that. I like that above the line piece. It reminds me, it's actually a web development terminology that says above the fold. Are you familiar with that? Above the fold? So it kind of made me feel like that a wee bit, that when you're developing a website in particular, you want the attention grabbing or the thing that's going to be the valuable offer to people looking at your website. You want it in the first screen. So there feels like a sense of authenticity there with that idea of above the line. Like so there's nothing that you have to scroll down through the
It's right there.
It's right there, right? It's right up and center, right? That it's there for everybody to see with integrity, authenticity. I love that.
I actually just had to quickly look because it's the above the line and below the line is a real big thing in corporates. It was when I was in corporate. So I just had to Google it because I'm like, I always forget it. There's bed somewhere in it. So it's OR. So above the line is ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And that's you're a victor. And then below the line is bed, blame, excuse, and denial. And that's where you're a victor. And so I knew there was a bed in there somewhere. I was like, there's a bed in this above the line. I'm like, could never remember it. But I try and make those decisions above the line in life. Not because I want more miracles to come in, just because I would like to live a fulfilled, inspired life. And I believe, you know, doing those.
Yeah, I would say that I live that way too, for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely times I go below the line. Don't think I'm sitting above the line 100% of the time, because I'm not, and I don't believe any person ever is above the line, because we do go into blame and we do go to excuses and denial, and then if you can, you pull yourself out as quick as you can.
Right.
You know,
but one of the quickest ways I know how to pull yourself, because like you say, we can get into the blame and criticizing and judging mode, but I think it's so important to always get into this mindset that life is flowing through you, not to you. Because when you get into the to you, that feels like you're falling below the line of what you just referenced, right? Because you're then saying, well, it's their fault, and I'm just gonna sit here and suck on my thumb because there's nothing I can do about it. Whereas if you take ownership and leadership for something and say, well, I created this and there's a miracle in here and there's a gift in here, then you're getting into that ongoing life is flowing through you.
Yeah.
I think that's such an important reminder. And so, like you say, doesn't mean you're always going to get that, but if you can come back to it, keep coming back to it, right?
Well, I think, and I also think, you know, we talked about nothing's set in concrete.
Yeah.
You know, if we go back to our PEMS, you know, when you do go below the line, like, don't beat yourself up, just recognize it and move, you know, and go, okay, well, that's because I've had no sleep. Or that's because I haven't eaten for 8 hours, or that's because my kids were annoying. So, and yes, that's a bit of a blame, but it's actually also a blame to accountability. That's because of that. Now I can move forward. So, you know, when it says blame, excuses, denial, yes, it's because my kids had no sleep last night, or they're all sick, and, you know, I'm now a 10 because I'm frazzled. That's okay. That you can blame, as long as you're not telling the kids you're ruining my day. There's a difference. But once you actually can see that and you can acknowledge that, then you can, take ownership, accountability, and responsibility.
I really like that. And there's another wee tip in here to help navigate those things is literally to reframe the yes, but.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
this is what's going on, but if you can take out that but and say yes and,
Mm,
right? So this is what's happening, but it's because that. And say yes and I get to make a new choice. You
Yeah.
know, like let's say you did take eating for an example. Yes, I chose to eat the entire cake. But that means this, and as opposed to yes, I did it and tomorrow's another day. Or yes,
Yeah.
I did that and I'm still losing weight or whatever.
Yes, I did that, and now I'm on the toilet because it reacted to me. But yeah, it is that and because we know that when the word but comes in, it literally eliminates everything you said before that. I still love you, but
I
oh,
know.
yeah, that just
I
eliminated
still
that.
love you and I have something to share.
That's a beautiful way, because then, like, I love you and I'd like to share something, and then instead of what have I done this
Exactly, because
time?
as soon as the but, there's a big dialogue that goes on going, oh
Your head
no, you
runs a
don't really love me
marathon.
then.
It runs a marathon that blooming quickly that you can't control it or stop it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
The one.
There ain't no miracles in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to just go back and revisit. Don't compare.
Yeah.
And because comparing can take you off course, off purpose. Like it can. And if you're comparing that, well, my friend's friend had they took this pill and then they've lived another 3 years longer, so it's going to work for me. Look at people and look at it, but also just be aware of their stuff, because their journey's their journey. Your journey's your journey right from. You're already signed up for your life. You just don't know what each page is going to bring. You don't know what each miracle is going to be, and the amount of miracles that come our way that we don't see.
Yeah, and so that's that whole going back, that actually is taking us back to that Albert Einstein quote, is that to see everything as a miracle or nothing as a miracle.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and that's where we can become a little bit derailed off our path if it's a miracle because this person achieved this vibrant state of health or well-being, and you then don't recognize the miracle of where you are.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe you're saying, well, I have to have this complete transformation. I have to have, this state of vibrant health like they do. But your journey is your journey. Celebrate your journey. Because after all, you are the author of it. Right. And that's the miracle in itself, is you are the author of your own life story. If it's not serving you, there's another miracle in here. You can create a new story.
Yeah. And that's it. Nothing's made in concrete.
Yeah.
It's yours to go. I've just realized our time. We're like, I'm like,
It's
no,
bedtime.
there's so much more how to create miracles. I know our time is up, but I'm actually just going to say, and I'm going to give one tip before I throw it back to Moira to see if she wants to throw anything else in there. But I'm just going to say trust. And I know we said, and it's a belief. So it's trust in yourself, trust in the universe or God or whatever, trust in the bigger picture, your soul, and trust in others. And when you trust, it just, things flow, and like your body tells you, no, this is not right, or yes, this is right, or this food's not good for you, or this food's gonna, immobilize. Like just trust, and your body is giving you all the signs of what's necessary.
Yep. No, I like that. My last one, and we kind of have tipped through this one, touched on this one, is acceptance. because I think that's such an important part to just put on its own, is acceptance of you are gifted and in the right place at the right time doing the right things. And rather than getting stuck into your head and thinking, oh, and criticizing yourself based on some kind of agenda or lack of trust in self, can sometimes help be the piece that's not allowing you to have full, unconditionally loving acceptance for you as you are in this moment.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm going to save that last bit. I'm just written something down. I'm going to save that to the very end. I want to, because I want to. So people, we're gonna have to wrap this up because we're timing.
Because we're at the end of this miraculous conversation.
and I was on the stop clock. So, but how to create miracles. If you didn't have your pen and paper or your note-taking device, grab them now, because we're literally going to recap all the things we've said as quick as we can in a condensed version for you. Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. So the first one we talked about was that piece that I inadvertently kicked us off with.
Knowing you were doing it, yeah.
You are powerful beyond all reasoning, and that was when we were talking about owning all aspects of you. To remember how powerful you are, just because you're here listening or in this life, you're powerful beyond measure. That's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, we can tell you you're powerful, but you've got to believe that.
Yeah,
people.
Yeah, that's the next part. Breathe into it. Well, that brings us to that tip that I just said: acceptance. Accept that you are.
You don't need me to tell you that you're a miracle. Yeah. My next tip was nothing is in concrete. My favorite saying: nothing's set in concrete. Everything can change. And going back to our PEMs, you'll notice that will have changed throughout a conversation. Or if you got interrupted by somebody, you'd be like, oh, I've got to listen to this. Hang on, I'm going to come back to that. I want to talk to you, child, but I have to go back. That whole, nothing is in concrete. Everything is movable. And good old 2020 taught us that.
Year of the pivot.
Yeah, the pivot. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes. The next one was where I referenced and we dived in and out of this one many times from that beautiful Einstein quote, talking about the two ways to live your life. One being, there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. I know which one I choose.
Yeah, and it's not as hard as what we think.
No more thinkies on this one. Just feel into that.
I've written this down, so I don't know if I think this is your quote. I believe anything is possible. Miracles are happening now.
Yeah, that's my favorite affirmation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wrote that down and I went, whose quote's that? I think that might have been Moira's. I believe anything is possible. Miracles are happening now. I think that's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to hold on to. And that's what I shared that I repeat that when I said that when I'm in situations where I'm at a 40 on my scale of 0 to 10. It's like, I'll just hold on to that one.
I'll have that. Well, the next tip I've got is recognize them and acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Actually see them and go, wow, and actually take a moment to swallow it in and acknowledge it. Oh, wow, there's a miracle. Or if you don't want to label it a miracle, oh, there's that thing. Oh, look, there's something amazing. Oh, wow, look at this beauty. Or look at this.
Yeah.
Or, look how this makes me feel. But to recognize it and acknowledge it. And I added, where Moira and I had a conversation about, share them, open that conversation with others. And when you swallow it into your soul and you can go, wow, look at that beautiful flower out there, or the way this is smelling, or the way my son run the 100 meters and actually survived at the end of it, like whatever that miracle we're talking about, whatever that miracle is when it's in your heart, you can share it and people will feel that share. But if you're coming from an elation place, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it happened to me today. You wouldn't believe it. I was watching this in the middle and you'd be like, okay, great. Yeah, thanks. Can you just go now? Get out of my space. But when you're sharing from that heart, it's a different conversation you're going to have with people.
Absolutely. So the next tip that I have here is gratitude. And I think that that's the key piece of what you were just saying, though, because I've known some people who will see a miracle and go immediately, oh, I have to broadcast this without breathing it in and having gratitude and a felt sense of it. And so sharing from a grateful heart is very, very different from I owe it to my peeps to get this out on Instagram. It's where's the connection? Where's the love? Where's the feeding the collective with this beautiful, miraculous, beautiful, joy-filled inspiration beauty moment?
Yeah, and well, I had at Christmas time I went and spent some time with my daughter's partner's family, and one of the things I did is I put my phone in my handbag. Now, anyone knows me, my phone is right here beside me. In fact, I've now just got a wrist thing so I can actually carry it around if I'm outside in the garden or whatever. I can actually put it around my wrist. Like my phone is literally attached to me 24/7, and people are like, God, that's really bad. Yeah, great. Thank you for the judgment. But on Christmas Day, I actually put my phone away. And it wasn't till Mum and I experienced all the people. There was a lot of people there at this function. There was a lot of people there. Let's say
Okay.
a lot of people. And one of the things was actually it was when Mum said to me, "Oh, did you get photos of the table?" And I was like, "Oh no, I didn't." And I didn't. I didn't share because it was just beautiful to go, wow. And because my daughter's partner's South African, I was thinking it was going to be a different Christmas. It was going to be a different South African,
Right.
in New Zealand, a different decorations, and there was nothing different. I just have to say, I was like, oh, they don't do different Christmas trees or different. I don't know. I just thought from another country they might have something different. I was definitely delusional, but it was beautiful to actually just swallow in what
The
I could
experience of it. That's
and
beautiful.
not have to share it with anybody. And it was only when Mum said, and I went, oh no, you need to ask Sophie, ask my daughter. And Sophie had taken photos, so we had photos of the table and that. But I guess Mum was the same for me as do they do things differently? But no, it was no different. Beautiful, but it wasn't like the thing. But we actually put our phones away, and that
that's
was
beautiful. I think that's such an important part.
well, that was actually a miracle.
There's a miracle. There is a miracle.
Just on that alone. Yeah. And I think that with that gratitude goes celebrate life.
Yeah.
Celebrate. Yeah.
Breathe into the experience, definitely.
So the next one I had was that above the line.
Yeah, I really like that.
Above the line and below the line. And being a victor, VICTOR, is ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And it just feels different when I go, am I making the decision or I'm being an a-hole here, which is the below the my words below the line, which is blame, excuses, denial.
Right.
Oh no, let's get yourself above the line. And when you make those above the line decisions, going in flow with universal laws, like whatever you want to label it, the miracles come and they just seem to be more bigger and shinier.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. And that's when I brought in my next tip that I brought in, and we talked about not comparing ourselves to others. But I also, we started that off by saying, remember that life is flowing through you, not to you. When you recognize that you don't compare yourself to others, but you recognize that the life is always flowing through you, you get to choose to be above the line. I think that's such an important, powerful interweaving of tips there.
Yeah.
That creates and witnesses the miracle of all life, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. It's a lovely podcast. Okay. Then moving on to the next tip. Yeah. You are the author of your life story. is
Yep.
what Moira said. And I just went, yeah, you're the what is it? You're the captain of your ship. You're the author of your storybook. And I love that. Whatever you want to say, but you are the author of your life story.
Yep.
You make the decisions.
Yep. Absolutely. And remember that part that I said yes and rather than yes but.
Oh,
That's
but.
part of the author of your story is the yes and not yes but.
But to and yeah. But to end. Yeah, perfect.
And then the next one after that was that you were talking about trust, the 3 levels of trust. Always, I like to think of trust as always an inside job, but
I
you
love
need to work on trust yourself, trust the universe got your back, and trust others. Right? That's such an important part to all this idea of witnessing and creating and being in a miracle. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And the last one we had, which I'm going to add another one, surprise, it was acceptance.
Yeah. Acceptance of all of you.
All that is. Yeah.
Yeah. And that actually goes back to that first one that we talked about accepting that you are powerful beyond measure. Acceptance of all of your gifts, your uniqueness, your power, your awesomeness.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, my last tip and is life is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Life is a gift, and so these miracles are here. So everything that comes your way is an absolute gift for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you. Well,
that wasn't how I thought today would go.
no, these never are. Have we ever ended an episode going, yeah, that's exactly how it was going to go. I knew it.
No, that would be a miracle. That would be a miracle. But I will say, I guarantee, because we've said about it now, I guarantee the next one
we will
exactly that, and we'll go, there was that miracle. There was that miracle that showed us. But one of the things, I love that. One of the beautiful things that we did at the start was recognizing our PEMS, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and seeing where we were on that scale of 0 to 10 or 0 to 40 or 100, wherever we were at. Knowing we're coming into not coming into the new year, we're in the new year, but the new year started when our boots are on and we're moving forward.
We're in it.
Yeah, this is us. So checking in where we were. Moira was a 2. I was a 2.5. I had that niggly little throat, which I have to giggle because I haven't even had to mute it for that. I've had to mute for the washing machine and everything else that's going on around me and the dogs. That's the only thing I've muted. So I'm muting myself going, here I was thinking I was going to have to cough or all the way through. None of that. But listeners, you were a certain number at the halftime check. You checked in with that different number, and where are you now? Let us know. Our intention clearly was to bring you close to the 0. And I think the curiosity, even the curiosity of the title, How to Create Miracles, is enough to make you go, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in here. So there's no, I don't even need to guess or even ask Moira what number she is, but I'll have the courtesy and I'll ask her, Moira, what number are you?
I am a 0. Actually, you were saying about not needing to cough. I did mute myself once to blow my nose, but that was it. And it's actually totally fine.
I didn't even notice she had muted herself to keep
did
talking.
It really quickly. No, and so no, I feel really good. I love this conversation. This has been beautiful.
Yeah, it feels like it's that lovely little blanket wrapped up.
That big love blanket wrapping you up. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or menopausal flush where you just have to rip everything off and you're still feeling like, okay, I've got it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a 0 as well. I'm 100% 0. Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So let us know where you were, listeners. That would be amazing. We'd love to know how you shifted. And what's your I'm gonna ask, so clearly if you like this, you're still here. Thank you. But the next step for you is to comment in our group or comment on any of these podcasts in the device that you're watching. Is let us know 2 things. What's your favorite tip? And what did we miss?
Yeah, that's a
You
good
think
one.
we
That's
missed
a
out of
good
this?
request. I like
Because the truth is there's probably 50 tips
it.
we
A
could give you.
bazillion.
Yeah, so let us know what's sitting in your mind. Yeah.
Mhm. I'd love that.
Wow. That's us over and out on our Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast / conversations with Debz and Moira. How to create miracles. Woohoo.
Loved it. Thank you, dear Deb.
Yeah, I trust everyone has a fabulous day. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, cough
Yes.
and sneeze and blowing noses and all those things.
All those lovely things.
Yeah, we look forward to reading the comments. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thanks everybody. We'll be back with you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.